Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video, where we are back for another Who Should You BT Plus video. And in this video, we are going to be covering Gabranth and Layle. Now, both of these two characters are going to be getting reworks, their C90s and force enhancements, but Gabranth is going to be getting his brand new FR and BT weapons. Now, if you haven't been to any of our previous Who Should You BT Plus videos, me and my good friend Kaiden, we are going to be covering many things when it comes to these two characters. I shall be covering their reworks and anything new that they are going to be getting, while Kaiden shall be covering the pros and cons for both of these two characters. Not only that, we're also going to be talking about Gabranth's FR conditions, characters that will help out in meeting those conditions. We'll also talk about the banner mates for these two banners that are going to be dropping, and then we're going to end it off with letting you guys know who we are planning to BT Plus or possibly passing up on. So, let us know down in the comment section below what your plans are going to be if you are going to be chasing for any of these two characters, BT Plus and them, whatever it is that you're going to do. Let us know down in the comment section below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So we'll first start off with Layle with his rework to his skill 1, which increases party brave by 50% of max brave, then deals a 4-hit AoE magic brave plus a single target HP attack 3 times that recovers brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last, and initiates a knockback. His skill 2 increases party except self brave by 20% of max brave, then deals a 4-hit magic brave plus an HP attack 4 times that recovers 20% brave of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last. Layle now starts off at the start of the quest with his overhead for 6 turns. His LD ability now deals a 5-hit AoE magic brave plus an AoE HP attack 4 times that recovers brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack. His HP attack Geo Impact command now increases party brave by 50% of max brave, then deals a 3-hit magic brave plus an HP attack 3 times. His overhead now adds a 20% party HP damage up and adds a 10% party knockback HP damage up. His EX ability increases EX recast gauge speed by 15%, increases party brave by 50% of max brave, then deals a 3-hit AoE magic brave plus a single target HP attack 5 times that recovers brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last, and deals 50% splash damage. It extends his EX buff to 6 turns. His C65 increases party brave gain to 50% of max brave, allows for 120% gained max brave overflow, and grants the brave fuel all for 5 turns. Now his C65 provides the party with a 10% max brave up and brave gains up. Now his BT effect got extended to 6 turns and provides the following at 2 out of 3. So it adds an additional 10% to the party HP damage cap up, now being a total of 30, and also provides a 50% party brave gains up. So now we're going to jump into the pros and cons of Layle, and of course we have our very excited tactician, Kaiden. What's up, man? Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Good to be back. Hopefully, it sounds way better than I do from normal. But, you know, hey, we'll find out once we get through this whole video today. Hopefully, you guys are going to enjoy this new work that we got going on over here.
Oh, yeah.
All right. First and foremost, we have Layle got very nice update. I feel like with the C90, it could be a little bit better, but with his C90 overall, he definitely got a lot more than what he was needing. For first and foremost, getting his C90 and getting his BT Plus, that BT Plus definitely helps him perform when it comes down to launching, making it more easier for him to launch. With the force debuff and the BT effect, both of them add on and make it easier for everybody to launch in the team. The second thing, once it does come down to it, with his overhead again, on quest start, he is able to make sure that everybody's going to be able to participate in a chase no matter the turn order. So he definitely has the utility going on for him in that point. The last one, while an enemy is airborne and while everybody's in chase, everybody's going to be able to deal even more damage. So ideally, when it comes down to Layle, keeping the enemy airborne or keep knocking back the enemy is going to be your key notations with Layle. I think that he definitely got a good update with the C90, and with the C90 he is able to equip the special weapon type. A lot of us probably have one. So if you guys are looking to definitely use him a lot more with the C90 update, he gets a lot more fun to play. He was fun before, but he's definitely more viable now more than anything else. So his cons are kind of not, to be honest, it's not that great. He is heavily reliant on his force debuff. Even his damage multipliers come within his force debuff overall. If he cannot hit, if that debuff is not on, he won't be able to hit for weakness. And on top of that, it's going to be a lot harder for enemies to be knocked back for the extra for your other teammates when force is not applied to a target. Also, when it comes down to his launching capability, he can definitely battery the party before launch, but he doesn't battery a party after launch as much as you would see. So he's definitely reliant on other party members in the team to really be able to help him. And this goes to his last portion too. As a knockback damage dealer, he specializes in launching, but he definitely needs more support more than anything else when he's not launching. As his ground DPS is kind of needs a lot of help there. So it just depends on the team comp that you're ultimately working with him in. Working with him with his Ace Boon Kun, Kais, him and Kais working together would be fantastic. But on another note, if you do not have Kais, everybody should almost kind of sort of have Garnet. So Garnet and her BT effect, those two will work together a large portion. Those two should be able to work together. And on top of that, with Garnet's BT effect active, when everybody's dealing HP damage, everybody should get Brave in return at the end of a chase. So you don't have to worry about Layle too much. But I would definitely say for sure, these three major things that you're looking at is that his ability to battery is always going to be before launch, not after. He is definitely reliant on his force debuff. And the last one is that he definitely needs support on the ground more than anything else. In the air, he can handle himself just fine, but on the ground, he needs support.
はあ、お守りする。この命に変えても野良犬にも意地はあるのだ。
Now we'll take a look at Gabranth with his rework to his skill 1, which turns into a 4-hit AoE melee Brave, plus a single target HP attack 4 times that recovers Brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last. It adds an additional 10% attack down and 30% defense down debuff whenever using his skill 1 or LD. His skill 2 turns into a 6-hit melee Brave plus an HP attack 3 times that deals 20% splash damage after each HP attack and increases party Brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt. He now starts off with his LD buff at the start of quest for 6 turns. It turns into a 4-hit AoE melee Brave plus an AoE HP attack 4 times. The plus version deals 5 HP dumps. Now his LD buff gains the following: a 20% stolen max Brave overflow up, a 30% Brave damage up, a 20% HP damage up, a 20% party Brave damage resist up, and a 10% party HP damage resist up, now totaling 30%. His EX ability becomes a 4-hit AoE melee Brave plus a single target HP attack 4 times that increases Brave by 50% of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last, and increases party Brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt. He gains a free ability use on his next turn, of course excluding his LD ability, BT, so on and so forth. So only his skill 1, skill 2, and C65 apply to this. His C65 got extended to 5 turns. When attacking a debuffed enemy, it adds a 20% attack up, now totaling 40%. It also adds a 40% Brave damage cap up. His FR, with Gao as his partner, deals a 6-hit AoE melee Brave plus an AoE HP attack 3 times that deals split HP damage. It resets all targets' break status after each HP attack. It inflicts the Criminal's Mark and Judgment debuffs to all targets for 6 turns. Now his FR conditions are as follows. You will increase the HP damage bonus by 30% when the party inflicts break. And you can also increase it by 15% whenever the party is attacking a debuff target. His BT effect lasts for 8 turns. When active and the enemy has at least 4 debuffs, the target's active Criminal's Mark or Outlaw's Brand debuff turns into Felon's Punishment. Now his BT effect provides the party with a 30% stolen Max Brave Overflow up, a 20% HP damage up, a 50% Brave damage cap up, and a 20% HP damage cap up. Now that BT debuff, Felon's Punishment, has a 80% attack down, a Brave poison by 120% of initial Brave, a 50% HP damage down, and a 30% HP damage resist down.
Alright, we're going to be moving on to Gabranth next. I feel like with Gabranth C90, he actually got a very big update, or a very solid rework overall, in comparisons to his C80 counterpart. Him going into C90, his damage output, and going into his first pros, his first thing that we really want to talk about is how solid his rework is. He went from dealing 1 HP damage, or like a 1 HP dump on both of his skills, to doing 4 on the first one and 3 on the second one overall. Guilt being able to unbreak and then re-break a target would definitely help out more than anything else. And skill 1 being able to battery the entire team, that would definitely be more beneficial than anything else as well. I think overall with the C90 rework, he definitely got a good touch up for him personally. The second pro that we want to talk about is his utility. His ability to be able to not only just be in the party and protect the team, he has massive attack down in his kit, and that goes along to his debuffs as well. But he has the ability to protect the team too, as far as like taking HP damage and break damage overall. Him being in a team, you don't really need like a very heavy healer. You can probably get away with just using a regen healer or just like a regen call. He is that good and he's that proficient in his role. Also, when it comes down to his debuffs, he has the ability to cripple a debuff, to cripple a boss with both of his debuffs and his BT effect. His BT effect debuff is actually going to be very beneficial for the team as well, keeping the enemies, and if the enemy does act, it does keep the enemy's damage very low. So you don't have to worry about you getting hit for like 9,999 unless you're just not rolling all of the defense or like a lot of attack down in a certain situation. But Gabranth he's got a lot more than just attack down into it. He has the initial Brave Sap on top of it, so he can definitely keep an enemy from one-shotting or almost one-shotting a teammate to some degree. He can do that. Next thing we're going to talk about is going to be his cons. I do like to say that as his own personal damage grew, it definitely has grown up to date, but as a debilitative supportive type of damage dealer, his damage is very average in comparisons to the other DPS that you're going to be coming across. If you're going to be using him, use him more for his utility effect, not so much for his damage. I think that's going to be something that everybody's going to be wanting to think about when it comes down to Gabranth. His ability, his spot in a team is going to be more solidified as long as you make sure that you have the damage output needed to make sure that everybody's going to be able to either meet the DPS check, meet the turn requirement, and on top of that, keep yourself safe overall. The next one that we're going to be talking about is that he is, again, heavily reliant on his debuffs. If an enemy is debuff immune, you'll have a harder time with him in the team more than anything else. You can probably still use him for his utility and defensive auras, but I still think that when it does come down to his performances overall, he needs his debuffs. And if he can't apply his BT effect debuff, you'll see that his performance overall will definitely be a lot lower than what you think. And the last one, when it comes down to his FR is more so pertaining more so towards him than it is the party members. You can technically make it more so to where the other party members can jump in, but you need a force breaker in the team in order for you to really be able to bring the most out of him. And we're talking about another breaker besides just him. When he is going into BT phase, definitely think that he's going to be able to fulfill the requirement very easy, and on top of that, build the FR gauge for you. However, if you're not going into BT phase with him, you're definitely going to want to be able to use BT phase with a force breaker or a unit who can break on their own. And there's not a lot of units who can break on their own right now besides him. The only other alternatives would be like Lightning, Arden, or it would have to be Vayne. So I would definitely think more so like how you're going to be utilizing the FR time with him. The other condition is actually fairly easy, just hitting a debuff target. So it just kind of sort of plays on which one that you're going to be going with overall. You can definitely live without it if you don't need it. But Gabranth overall got a very big update, and I'm very happy to talk about him today.
So now we're going to take a brief look at both banners, and we're going to briefly mention what the two LD units, like what they would actually offer if you decide you wanted to chase for either of the two. So Kaiden's gonna start off with the Gabranth Pain and Saz banner, and then I'll be talking about the Layle, Steiner, and Rude banner. So Kaiden, thoughts on the Gabranth banner?
The Gabranth banner is going to be one of those banners that if you need debuffers, Gabranth, one, hands down, easy one to pick up. You get his entire kit. I don't know why you wouldn't. And then there is Pain. Pain is right there beside him, and Pain is a very interesting unit. Pain has a lot of ores built into her kit, both party-oriented and giving the party very, very, very big stats, or debilitating the enemy to the point to where they hit for like pennies at this point. Pain has very good versatility in her kit, and to have both Pain and Gabranth working together on something, you should be able to take little to no brave damage and little to no HP damage to some degree with those two working together. Then there's also Zaz working on that banner as well. Zaz has always been known as a very good buffer, or a very, very good generic buffer for the team. He should be able to stave off some debuffs, not all of them, but as long as you actually keep his crit multiplier on the team, everybody's going to be able to hit crits regardless of it. And on top of that, his aggression buff is still very, very relevant to some degree in some team comps. Thinking about how you would rate this banner, if you do not have a buffer, like a good solid buffer, and if you're a newer player, I would definitely recommend this banner just because of the fact that you have two great debuffers on the team, and you have a very good supportive. Unit on this team. There is a healer on the other banner, and I think that a lot of people are going to probably talk about that banner too in a more Layle-based situation. But for Gabranth, these two working together will easily get you through a lot of different fights. And on top of that, you don't have to worry too much about brave damage coming into the team, and you can definitely hit a lot harder with these three working together here. So scale from 1 to 10. Oh, sorry. On scale out of 1 out of 5, I would definitely give this one. I'll give it a 4.
Now the Layle banner, which includes Rude and Steiner, two very solid LD only units. Rude providing fantastic Brave Battery and healing. Not only that, but he does have some strong Brave damage resist up, especially going up against Odin's attacks. And if you were to pair him up with Gabranth, would not be a bad idea. And the same goes for Steiner. Steiner does provide some solid defensive auras, especially from his LD buff. And then that LD buff is basically like a cryo effect, except that it does not expire unless you let the buff fall off. Then that's a different story. But overall, like Steiner's like kit can actually be pretty supportive. But both these two characters, even though they can actually be beneficial with Gabranth in terms of reducing brave damage and whatnot, like they are definitely more lenient towards Layle, like Kaiden said, because of the amount of battery that they do provide, and especially Steiner's LD buff will definitely help out Layle a very good amount while he's on the ground. So overall, though, as call abilities, because I really don't see too many players using Steiner or Rude, but as call abilities though, like Rude for sure, his overheal, because he does have HP overflow, He is able to use that with his LD call, so that is not a bad pickup in my opinion. Steiner, you really not going to be using him too much as an LD call or anything like that. He's definitely more beneficial to have him on the team and, you know, certain situations. So like overall, it's a pretty solid banner. But for those who are chasing the Gabranth banner, I do feel like you would actually get a little bit more value out of that banner. But like in terms like just looking at this specific banner though, it is a pretty good banner, especially if you're needing a healer or if you're needing just a character who is able to provide a good amount of Brave Battery via skills or the actual buff. So overall though, when it comes to the value of it, 0 out of 5, I would give this one a solid 3. So now we're going to end off the video with letting you guys know who we are planning to BT Plus between Gabranth and or Layle. So Kite is going to go up first. So what's your plans, man? I pretty much know what you're going to do.
Really? Do you know what I'm going to do? Because I think right now I'm thinking about greening Layle just for his BT theme alone. I really like his BT theme.
I mean, that'd be a good reason for it, but I would have greened Gabranth, so...
but I really think more than anything else, I'm definitely going to be greening Gabranth if I can grab him. And I do have enough BT tokens so where I can definitely just token one. I'm going to have to... I'm gonna have to get his FR though, so I may have to pull till I get it. And it is I got the summon or the Odin summon boards will provide a lot of good gems and tickets, so I can probably throw something there and see if I get it. But overall, if I definitely want his BT. In fact, I definitely want his BT. But if I don't get his FR, I'm not hurting without it. I think that when it does come down to it, though, there are a lot of good units who can definitely work well with him and synergize well with Gabranth. One of the units I can think about, like right off the top of my head, would be Sephiroth, because it unbreaks everybody, unbreaks the enemy, and everybody can become a breaker at that point. But overall, I think for me, if I have to look at the two of them, my major playstyle is physical attackers, and even though Layle has a very awesome BT theme, I think I'm just going to be rolling with Gabranth.
Okay. Yeah, so I actually green Gabranth in JP, and in my opinion, he was actually pretty worth it, especially because I don't really play with debuffers like that. So Gabranth was technically one of my first characters that is a debuffer that does have more utility aside from the debuffs that he inflicts. So, like, from my experience with Gabranth, like, it was definitely very much positive. I mean, like, I know that, you know, many players will probably pass up on him because, you know, they have Cam. So they probably won't be chasing too hard for Gabranth, and I could definitely see that. I could see some players waiting for Shalada. I could see some players waiting for Lunafreya and all that good stuff. You know, all the fantastic BTs out there. But like Gabranth, in my opinion, for what he does and with how much of a hard time he makes the enemy just basically just hit for like crap. Gabranth is very solid, and I did not regret greening him in JP. Now, Layle, on the other hand, though, poor Layle. That's all I can say. Poor Layle. Poor Layle. I feel like definitely gets overshadowed by a few certain LD only units. So he does have his uses and whatnot, and you know, I'm sorry to those who are fans of Layle, but I mean, like, I'm not gonna, you know, sugarcoat stuff. But like Layle, in my opinion, though, like with me having like Selfie and Sid Reigns and whatnot, it's kind of like I think I'm gonna pass up on Layle. So my plan is to chase for Gabranth's FR and BT. Layle, though, on the other hand, I don't remember if I have his BT on my global account, but you know, if I was really feeling it like that, I would probably green him too, just to give him some love. But as of right now, I'm gonna stick to Gabranth, because Gabranth, solid debuffer, very much worth and whatnot. And yeah, he's gonna make the enemies not have a very good day.
just so everybody's aware, when it comes down to the newer players, we want to make sure that you guys make very good choices. And I feel like the greatest way to do that is just to let everybody know, ideally, which units can work well with other units. As Law said earlier, Layle is a fantastic unit if you like him and if you really like building teams around him. But there are other units who are LD only units right now, and I hate to say it, that can perform his role just a little bit better as far as like launching is concerned. There will be no unit in the game right now who can have the entire team participate in a chase besides Layle. Layle's the only unit who can do it. But when it comes down to like Sid Reigns rearranges the party order to where everybody can participate with the LD call, and on top of that, or with his LD and with his skill 2, he's able to line up one additional person with him. And in the future, he does get a BT. Again, oof. But Sophie makes it to where everybody can launch. Everybody can participate in the launch as long as everybody is in the correct turn order. But Layle does something that no other unit can do, and that's making everybody participate regardless of the turn order. I think that them releasing him during Odin's Divine Odin wasn't that great of a move, because it caters a lot more towards physical damage. And on top of that, to even cancel his FR status, you have to use a physical or melee FR in order to counter it. There's also the fact that Odin has been notoriously known for placing a debuff on you and one-shotting your team or delaying your team. So Layle places himself, his turn manipulation, he places himself behind another unit. And if he does, while the Odin's FR is active, he's just going to put himself behind a unit just to delay himself another turn. So they could have picked a better spot. I don't know why they put him here, but I do like the banner. The banner is definitely catered more towards, his own banner is definitely catered more towards him, but they could have put him in another spot. That's the reason why I feel like Layle just got oofed. He got oofed hard.
Yeah, and it sucks because like he could definitely be like a very solid character, but like with like again, like with some of the LD units that possibly many players have, it's like like, is he really necessary at the moment? Not really. For any newer player, I mean, like if you really want to have a character that is able to launch on his turn and increase the chances of your teammates being able to launch as well, then I mean, Layle's not a bad choice. But like I do feel like he does get overshadowed very quickly, and that's why I'm not pushing his. I'm not really pushing players to, especially newer players, to be pulling for his kit. But real quick, we did want to mention a few characters as well to help in meeting Gabranth's FR. Obviously, Gabranth is able to inflict debuffs, especially if you are going to be using Gabranth. Like, that's really nothing to worry about when it comes to that. Gabranth, he is able to re-break, and all that good stuff with his kit. And there are a good amount of characters that is able to help with that second condition as well. But the thing is, though, like, the only reason why I'm not gonna go like down the entire list, I'm probably gonna name a few of the recent ones, is because like a lot of these characters that are able to help meet the condition are characters that may not have gotten love for quite a while now, but is gonna be getting love, let's say, in like the next month or so. So I don't want to make it seem like there's like a whole bunch of characters, because I mean there is, but it's just depending on like if you are willing to actually use those specific characters to help that condition. But like some of like the recent characters that will help when it comes to meeting his break condition. King which was actually one of the last LD characters before the Shinryu era. He is able to break the enemy. You do have Jack. Jack did get his force enhancements. His BT plus reran with the one act fight. What is it? Strago is another one that is able to do set stuff. Cloud of Darkness, who is actually going to be coming up towards the end of August. She is able to do that as well. And I will link this link which shows all of the helpers for his FR condition conditions down in a pinned comment, so if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to, because like I said, there's a good amount of characters to do so, but I'm not gonna go through every single one. So that's really just depending on what you have and you know what could potentially help out with him. But Gabranth FR is definitely more so for himself and his overall kit.
I agree.
So but other than that though, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Let us know down in the comment section below what your plans are going to be for the next pair of BT units. And Kaiden, once again, thank you for participating in another episode. Would you call this an episode? We'll call it an episode of
I mean, it's a series at this point. We're here, and hopefully everybody likes the new sounds of everything here. But you know, we're open to feedback here at the show.
Oh man!
Until next time, guys.
See you guys.
Good luck on your pulls if you guys are going to be pulling. Take care.
Take care. We'll catch you guys in the next one.